Today, I have Venessa Minkley with me from 369 Collective, and we're going to be sharing, well, she's going to be sharing 10 small business hacks to boost your online presence. So I'm really excited for this. We always love some hacks to get in there, get things done, and get back to doing what we're doing in our business and making money, hopefully. So Venessa, I want to thank you so much for joining us in this session here today on Digital Boost. As a reminder for those of you who are new, we have a lot of new users. You can stream these sessions online with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. If you are tuning in from one of those channels and you'd like to ask Venessa a question, or you'd like to just share some feedback or comments, we would love that. Feel free to use any of the chat features or the comment features on those platforms. So that I'll pull them through so that we can get your questions answered. I know that Venessa always comes with a lot of content, so we will get right into it today. So again, thanks, Venessa. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, sorry, I didn't know you were quite finished. I'm just going to
You know, you're right. Sorry, I do that sometimes. I walk say hi, and then I'll keep going.
I'm just going to share my screen. So, look, there's probably more than 10 in here, but it's the things I use to make the normal business tasks of marketing, creating content, and so forth simpler and easier. Show you ways to rewrite copy and things like that. So my business was set up to make sure that you have you are connected with a trusted service provider, because I'm sure some of you have experienced situations where perhaps you pay for something and you didn't quite get what was promised. So we make sure that that doesn't happen. And I also offer mentoring and coaching. And if you need one of the service providers, we will then connect you with them. So first off, we're going to go through some Chrome extensions. Do you guys, who uses Chrome extensions? What's your favorite? So Momentum is this one here, right? So Momentum is an app that you have to install separately and differently from other Chrome extensions. It's not, no, you don't find it in the Chrome store, but it's just more of a nice to have, right? So when you open up a new tab, this is what you'll see. It'll say, "Good morning, Venessa," and you'll put your mission statement for the day. I want to publish a blog post, or I want to post on social media. I want to do email marketing. So it just takes that boring new tab page and makes it a whole lot more interesting. Down the bottom here, it has always has a different inspirational quote each day. So when you're creating content, if you're in a positive mindset and you're inspired, you tend to write much better content, and people can sort of feel that vibe. Now go full page. I'm going to see if I've switched screens here. If you can you still see what my screen?
What are we looking at? We should be looking at graphics and content checklist. Is that?
Yeah, so I'm going to show you over here. So this is, hang on a sec. I need to get to my Chrome. Oh, look, I'll take you through it afterwards, but
okay.
Go full page is a Chrome extension. And I'll show you shortly how to add Chrome extensions. And basically what that allows you to do is actually get a full PDF of one web page. So say it's something you want to copy or something you want to read later. It'll actually copy the whole web page right down to the bottom, and you can then save it as a PDF. So that's very helpful in a lot of situations. Bold font. Sorry, I need to go back. I don't quite know how to go back now. All right. So bold font is another one. So bold font, when you're actually creating content, you can go on your social media. If you want a particular sentence or word to stand out, the bold font is a really great extension. I just want to see if I can get back here. I can't get out.
You might need to just unshare and reshare, Venessa. Just take your time.
It's just getting stuck there. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, that's all right. Just
No, it's still not doing it. Give me 1 second, everyone.
Yeah.
In the interim, can people share in the chat perhaps what you use as Chrome extensions, if you do use any?
Yeah, great idea. I know that I use Loom. Oh,
All right, here we go.
okay. I love a good tech difficulty on a Tuesday. You just can't beat them, can you? Just
Can you
it just
see?
gets the blood going, you know? Make sure that you're still alive.
All right,
Love
I'm
this.
gonna share my screen again. Sorry, guys.
Go for it. We're just following you. Loom. So I use Vimeo. You can drop these in the chat, everyone. What Chrome extensions? If you don't know what an extension is, because that might be a great place to start while Vanessa's getting this pulled up. Sometimes when we download apps, you have the ability to add an extension onto your browser. And it kind of comes when you're looking at your actual browser where you would type in to put the URL or wherever you wanted to go. To the right, there's this little puzzle piece. You might see, I use Chrome and that's what it looks like for me. So on the Chrome browser, it has a little puzzle piece and that's your extensions. And in mine, I've got Grammarly, I've got LastPass, I've got Vimeo, and I guess I've got a Google Dictionary right there. And what it does is it allows you to access these apps really quickly because they're just little icons that appear on the top there.
Yeah.
When you're online and when you're working on certain business ideas, it can be super helpful. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, so you can see that
Right.
on my screen.
Yep. We're back to
So
that.
bold font, and I will show you all these when I stop sharing this presentation. So I can show you at the end. But there, I have some screenshots. So bold font helps a certain part of your text, and it doesn't matter what platform, it could be Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, any platform. If you make the font a bold, it can be italics or can be just a standard font bold, it will stand out. So it could be that you would bold your CTA, so your call to action, or you want to bold a title or something similar. It works on web pages, it works on blogs, all kinds of things. Loom and Vimeo are kind of the same. Some people prefer Loom, some people prefer Vimeo. What that allows you to do is if you are on a web page and or you had a presentation and you wanted to video something. So I'll show you a video that I did using Loom shortly. And often if you're a coach or a mentor or even a trainer or anything like that, where you teach people to do certain things, it's great to be able to record a video. And it's also a great resource for people to share with your customers where they can refer to it later. Because, you know, even when I go through this presentation, there will be things that you will miss and you would want to go back to. So this presentation will be available to Anamari and she will then share it with you. So, and these are also extensions you can add onto a Chrome browser. Now, 3.2 million users use Chrome, so it's huge. Now, Chrome can be used on Mac or PC. It doesn't matter, and it is by far the most used web browser out there. WordTune is another cool one. So WordTune allows you wherever you're typing text, and like I said, I'll show you towards the end. WordTune helps you to rephrase. So say you've written some copy and you're not quite happy with it. You basically just click on a little purple icon and WordTune will sentence by sentence rephrase your copy. Sometimes I come across copy that's not copyrighted and I think, oh, that's exactly what I want to say. But of course you can't go and copy people's content, or you shouldn't. So WordTune is great to be able to rephrase the way someone else has perhaps expressed something that resonates with you, that has, you know, an alignment with your business. So there's Chrome Web Store, and you can see the URL at the top. It's something you can Google. It'll come up first in your search. So there's Go Full Page that I've searched there, and you can see there's various options. So just choose the one that's best for you. Some of them only will do what's visible on the screen, but Go Full Page, which I'll show you in the next one, So that's go full page there. That's the one you want. That's the one that will record the entire page from top to bottom, and then it'll automatically open up a window and it will allow you to save it as a PDF.
Now, Vanessa, can I just jump in here real quick? There's a couple of questions about people in the chat. Sorry, guys, I don't know what's going on with the chat. So using the Q&A is what we're doing right now. I'm working on it on the back end.
Sorry, what's happening, Anamari?
Oh, just the chat function for some reason isn't allowing folks to type in the chat function.
Okay.
So it's okay. The Q&A function is working. Please use that. I am working on it in the background. Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
So when you find the Chrome extension that you like or that you want, you just click on it and it'll then give you the option in the next screen. You'll see it'll give you the option to add to Chrome. So you just add to Chrome and it'll add it to your web browser. If you're on Windows, that's to your very right hand side, and I'll show you how that works. And this is what a Go full page does. It's a one-click screen capture and it captures the whole thing. This is really useful if you're sharing a draft of, say, a web design, or sharing a draft of copywriting, graphic design, or any kind of resource that perhaps you want to, say for instance, you've written a blog and you want to save that blog as a PDF and you want it to look exactly how it looks on your website. This is a great app to use, because it'll capture the whole thing and it'll look all professional, and all the formatting and everything will be the same as the actual web page. So on your web browser, you'll see at the top here, you see that sort of hammer, or I don't know quite what it is, but this icon here is where if you click that, you'll see all your extensions. If you want to pin it, so you can see I've got Bitly, Bold, WordTune, and I've got a Vimeo. I've got a few of them pinned here. You just click on that hammer, or like I said, I'm not sure what it is, and you click this where the arrow is pointing. If you click that, it's going to create a shortcut, so you don't have to go to this drop down each time. So that's how you pin a Chrome extension. So now I'm going to get onto social media. So this is sort of a cheat sheet or something that you can refer back to, because it's important to have the right sizing on your social media. I'll give you an example. If I use an Instagram size image, which is 1080 by 1080 square, if I use that on Google My Business, it would be cut off top and bottom, because Google My Business wants a 1200 by 900. So it wants a rectangle. Facebook is also a rectangle, so is LinkedIn, whereas Instagram is square. Some people are using the new version. I just stick to square. Otherwise, it's difficult to place your content. But I don't create a separate size for Facebook, because the Instagram size works perfectly on Facebook. It's not going to get cut off. It's not going to get rendered any differently. It will get compressed. So if you create this beautiful image on Canva, or in Adobe or Photoshop, and you then upload it into, say, Instagram or any of the platforms, they will all compress your image. So your image will never look quite as beautiful or crisp as you would imagine it, how you created it. But just remember that there's nothing you can do about that. That is what it is. So it's always better to start off with a high quality image, because it's going to get compressed. So yeah, so some sizes work across multiple platforms. I've even used Instagram sizing on LinkedIn. It works fine. But don't use a Facebook size on Instagram. It'll get cut off and it'll look funny on your grid. The easiest way to resize, if you don't want to remember sizing, is just to go into Canva, even the free version, and you can just search what you want to do and it'll give you the right size. So for Facebook, it's important that your cover photo, your shared images, and your profile photos are the right resolution or size. It just makes sure that it's going to fit into that space really nicely, and that it's not going to get cut off top and bottom. Your cover photos are a little tricky. You need to make sure all your content is in the middle, because it does, no matter no matter what you do, it does cut off the top and bottom. That's just how it is. The profile photo is best being round, a circle, and being PNG, so having a transparent background. Down the bottom here on this presentation, I've put the different sizes. So this is something you can refer back to. Eventually, you'll get used to it. And if you use Canva, you can avoid some. Canva doesn't offer absolutely everything. So that's why I've put the sizes down here to make it a little easier for you. But like I said, when I create for social media, I don't do a Facebook image size because it's not necessary. So these are your sizes for Instagram. Like I said, there is research that the taller new size is better. I've not found it to be, it's more time consuming because you've got to be very careful where you place your content because the top and bottom does get cut off a little. So for, to make sure that it's going to be perfect in your grid and it's going to show nicely, I stick to 1080 by 1080, and that is what Instagram now has in brackets square after it, because there's a new version that a lot of people are using. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram, but if Instagram is your main marketing tool, then I would experiment with a new size. But if you don't have a lot of time, just stick to the 1080 by 1080. Your profile photo, once again, it needs to be the right size, otherwise some of it will get cut off. And stories on Instagram are the same size as stories on Facebook. And you can get away with a story size on Pinterest as well. So here's Pinterest. You'll see the size is a little different here. But like I said, if you've resized to story on Canva, if you're resizing from a square, you'll just have to move your content around a little bit because it will resize it, but stretch it up into a big rectangle. So sometimes you've got to go in and just move your logo, move your image, make some text bigger, and so forth. But it's, like I said, you can get away with a story size on Pinterest as a pin, and it'll work just fine. So I've put the sizes down here for you to make it easy for you to refer back to. And don't worry if you can't remember the sizes, because I don't remember the sizes myself. And sometimes I've got to refer back to, I've got one document in a Google Doc that I have all my sizes in, so that I can find it easily. So yeah, so how many people use Pinterest in their business? And does it work for you?
Hello. So I figured out the chat because I didn't update on Zoom. So I think it just kind of changed the functionality. So
Okay.
everybody should be able to jump into the chat now, which is a lot faster than me going through the Q&A. So sorry, if you're still in the Q&A, jump into the chat. I'm working my way through those questions that you had there. And yeah, just so that everybody's clear as you're typing in whether or not you use Pinterest, just to waffle on here. Some folks have asked about getting a copy of this slides and the recording. The recording will come in a thank you for attending email, or you can always access it on the website. It will be there. And underneath that, we have like a learning summary, and Vanessa's going to supply us with this presentation. So if you're a cheeky bugger and you're watching on through Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, get signed up to digitalboost.co.nz, because we've got lots of heaps of resources like this. Okay, I'm going to drop off and get back to those things that are going on there, and you can see the chat. Can you not, Vanessa?
I can see the chat. Did you want me to look at some of the questions?
Maybe I'm just going to keep on going on those questions. I had a little bit of a backlog, so I'll let you get to that, and I'll come right back.
I'm just going to have a quick read of these chats. Didn't Venessa skydive on Sunday?
Yeah, that's
yes, I did.
Yeah, Dean's messaging you. I've told him to keep it to the thing.
That's so cool.
So there's some here. No, I don't use Pinterest. I'm not sure how worth it is. I have an online baby boutique. I don't use Pinterest only for viewing my hobbies. I only use Pinterest when hunting crochet patterns. I don't, I've never heard of hunting a crochet pattern, but I like the idea of it. Um, I don't use Pinterest for my cake content. What about tiling? I don't use Pinterest either. Oops, sorry. Yeah. TikTok. Yeah, you know what? Actually, we did a really interesting session on Pinterest for tourism businesses with Tomahawk. So I'm interested to hear your views on Pinterest. It has SEO gains. So it's a
Yeah,
great site, doesn't it?
exactly. So, I mean, if you know how everybody puts your Facebook, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, all those in your footer of your email, or in your bio, that creates a backlink. So, and having a backlink to Facebook, or Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn or any of these social, they all have different algorithms, right? And the Pinterest algorithm, and also Pinterest advertising is completely different to Facebook and Instagram. Um, and if you've got a visual product, you want to be on Pinterest, right? If you've got a product that's visual and you want to show people what it looks like, or you want to record a video of how to, if you've got, so for instance, a gift business where you sell gift boxes, you want to show people the care and attention you take to actually put it together and wrap things up and make it all beautiful and pretty. Pinterest is a great place to. It's a little harder for service providers, but you can still share various things, and it works the same way. You've got a caption, you've got an image, and then you put the link. So the link is your CTA. So it could be a link to a free resource. If I'm honest, I don't get on there much. I should. People that do what I do have good success on Pinterest. Pinterest is also cheaper than Facebook advertising. So it's a good place to experiment. And there's plenty of tutorials out there on Pinterest. But it just means that when people are Google searching your product or your service, you've got another URL that's going to come up for you. And Pinterest is one of the ones that will come up without putting your business name, because you can put, what's important is to put an alt tag. So alt tag, basically, people always say it's for people that are visually impaired, but actually it also helps with the algorithm. So I do it, I make sure I try and remember to do it on my Instagram, my Facebook, and on Pinterest. All of them give you the option to add alt text. So when you're doing an Instagram post, if you're going through using your phone or or Meta, you can actually put alt tags in there as well, and
Yeah.
that helps with the Google search. It's
So
kind of like the
I
same
just
as
want to jump in really quick because I don't want people to, because there were some questions that's really important because you mentioned a CTA. And Richard, thank you for dropping that in there. But a CTA is a call to action. So it's like prompting your customer to do something. So you want to always have your CTAs there. And I think this is a really good point about the alt text. It actually gives you that, reachability. Because there was another question here, Vanessa, because you can talk underwater about this stuff. So I'm going to jump in. If you give little spaces
oh,
for me
that's
to jump
cool.
in, there's lots of chat function happening. So I just I'm waiting for little breaks. So, there was a question here. It said, I understood Pinterest was more viewed by international customers, mainly US. Is that correct? Our business model is more local. Our customers will mainly be in the South Island. Now, I've got thoughts on that, but and I think this is what you're getting at with the backlinks to Google. It doesn't matter if your customers aren't there. It's giving you more of a web presence, right?
It's just another place that Google knows to find you. Um, and so some people use Instagram as the Google search. Some people use Pinterest as their Google search. If they're looking for a product, they go on there, they don't even use Google, right? So it's useful in that way as well. If you're not selling internationally, there's always going to be more Americans on every platform. Every platform. America's massive. So there's always going to be more Americans on every single platform. But I know if you're a service provider, for instance, like me, I can work with anybody anywhere in the world. So for me, it makes sense to put it there. Things like video testimonials, those kinds of things, they're great to share on Pinterest as well. If you've got a visual product you sell, you've got a baby boutique and you sell beautiful, bespoke handmade, sustainable, ethical, all these kinds of words are the kinds of words that you're going to put in your caption, because that's what people are looking for. You kind of, yeah. So, and the alt text, and good rule of thumb is just call it exactly what it is. It's like, it's like if you've got an image of a baby jumper, call it what it is. It's a cotton, whatever, just call it what it is. So imagine somebody that's vision impaired and has to use an app. That app is going to read the alt text, but it also helps with the algorithm.
Now I've got lots of questions here, Venessa, so I might just jump in and we'll do that, because they kind of, some of the questions didn't get answered from the first part because the chat wasn't working correctly. Apologies, guys.
That's good.
And it says, do Chrome extensions work when creating content from your phone?
No.
Okay, let's say no on that. Are Chrome extensions free?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say that depends on the package that you have too. Like I've got LastPass Chrome extension. The extension itself is free, but I might want an upgrade on the LastPass package that I have, and therefore the LastPass might cost money. But to actually add it to Chrome, it doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, look, there are some more advanced ones, like the first one that I showed, where it gives you a nice browser. That one you have to add from their website. But most of them you can just search in the Chrome store.
Okay. Another question here. Do other browsers have the concept of extensions? Like if you're working on Safari or Firefox, or,
they all have their own things, but unless you have got a Chrome browser, you're not going to get Chrome extensions. It's exclusive to a Google Chrome browser. And the reason why it's so useful is because I say to everybody, get yourself a Gmail account, even if you don't use it, even if you forward all your emails through to that, because it then opens you up to all the Google tools. And it means you don't need Microsoft 365, you don't need Outlook, you don't need Word, you don't need Excel, you don't need any of those. And I'll show you more of that. Does the alt text require a hashtag? No. No hashtags.
Yeah, it's basically just writing that replaces the image. So, if you were to think, remember the times when you would open up an email, maybe you're not old enough, but I remember when you would open up an email and it would just show you this little gray box, and it might have writing next to it because your computer couldn't see that image. And so it would tell you what the image was. Picture of person riding a bike. Like that's the alt text. That's essentially what it is. So,
and it can also be your CTA. It can also be your call to action. It depends. Do you want to get more eyes on the image or the video, or do you want people to take action from your caption? And so it could be grow your business, improve your SEO, boost your online presence. It can be things like that as well. So it doesn't have to, on your website for products and services, yes, it needs to be what it is. But with the alt text, you can play around with it. So any other questions, Anamari?
Yeah, there are, there's heaps going on here. Now, I know that this session, some of you guys have only come to workshops, and so you're probably thinking, oh, I need to take notes, I need to do all this stuff. This is a very different type of session. It's more of an overview. It's something designed that you can go back and watch back, or you can go back through the slides and have a look for yourself. So we don't kind of stop and, go back and, go forward. So I apologize if that's not the way that you learn, but that's why we do provide a recording, and so that you can go back and revisit the areas that you're interested in. Does TikTok create SEO?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Every online platform, doesn't matter what it is, creates SEO. And that's why you've got to be smart and make sure that you follow your keywords through all your content, and they match the keywords that you've selected on your website. So because you want to come up in a Google search you need to have between 6 and 11 keywords that you need to, so some will be highly competitive, and some will be more niche, and some will be less competitive. There are apps that you can go and check what's competitive and what's not. I'm not covering that.
There is like a little bit, I want to just clarify, guys. There's a lot of questions about alt text, and if you need a little bit more support, but just keep it really simple. It's not complicated. It's a pop-up that will generally occur, or it will ask if you would like to do it on the various platforms, and you're just describing what's in the photo. That's it. You don't need like anything else in there, really. I mean, you could.
Yeah, so like on Instagram, for instance, you just got to go. So you got to go, you got your various settings, share to Facebook, this, that, and the next. So right at the bottom, it'll have advanced. You just go to advanced, and that's where you do it. On LinkedIn, for instance, you just click on the image or video you've uploaded.
Yeah,
and
it prompts
it's
you
right there.
away on LinkedIn. Like
Yeah.
it's the first
look,
thing.
it's not a deal breaker, but it helps. You know?
Yeah, I think that it's important for accessibility as well, but it is a great point about the SEO and the backlinks associated there. Give it a go on your platform. There's a lot of talk here in the chat on the platforms talking about there's so many platforms. I'm feeling overwhelmed. I've got Instagram, I've got Facebook, Pinterest, it's TikTok, it's too much. Look, there's been a lot of experts that have come on here. I've done like 450 of these sessions, and everybody basically says, pick a platform that you feel is where your audience lives, you know.
Nail that one, yeah.
Like don't advertise on LinkedIn if you're selling coats for dogs. This is my famous thing. They're not on LinkedIn. You're selling, those are where businesses are. Go to a platform, you know, that where people would look for coats for dogs, maybe Facebook, maybe Instagram, TikTok. Yeah. Pinterest, those can all work. Pick a platform. If you're overwhelmed, pick one and get good at it and really get in deep with it. Yeah. And then when you feel more comfortable, you can add another one. Now, Instagram and Facebook are quite easy because they're linked even though some of the content probably should be a little bit different, they're making Facebook more and more like Instagram, with the reels, they've got stories, you know, it's really quite similar. And you can do a lot of that through your business meta suite. So on Facebook, you can actually produce all that content and schedule it in there, and it'll pop out on both platforms. So that's quite cool. Not everything, not reels, I don't think, but stories do for sure.
Yeah, stories and posts. So posts can be either a carousel, which is a bunch of images, or you can upload a video. If you're using the Meta Suite, and I've actually got a video on that. If you're using the Meta Suite, the video can't be longer than 1 minute. If you've got a video that's longer than 1 minute and you want to post that on Instagram, then use your phone. Your phone actually it bypasses that minute, so, or it'll actually automatically trim it down. So you can't have more than a minute if you're using the Meta Suite for Instagram. Facebook, you can have 2 hours if you like. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Look, don't be overwhelmed. Basically, what I'm giving you is options, and you know, I'm happy to have a session with you later on to look at your business and you say, okay, what are the 3 top ones? Because you really only need to create one set of content and then use that content across all your platforms. You're not writing different content for each platform. If your audience is not on LinkedIn, don't go on LinkedIn, but have a LinkedIn profile at least, because you're a business person, right? So you are in business, and so it creates trust and authority, and you know, establish you as a expert in your field. And whether that's making candles or whether that's making baby clothes, or it doesn't matter what it is, you still a business owner and you're in business, right?
I don't know what, so many people come on here and say if you make baby clothes, and I don't know what, maybe it's a huge industry because a lot of people, providers come on here and they're like, so if you make baby clothes, for instance, and I'm like, what is this baby clothes topic? But let me just address a question here. Is there an all-in-one platform for creating, whoa, the chat's going crazy on it. Okay, all-in-one platform for creating business ads that can deliver to all social media? Yes, indeed, there are a bunch. And I would say one of the cheapest one is called Publer, and it's not as cheap as it used to be, but it's still really good. Hootsuite, you've got
Planoly,
Social. What?
It's got Planoly. You can also post from Canva. So if you connect your social media accounts, but the only problem with Canva is you can only do one at a time. Whereas on other platforms, like Hootsuite, like Planoly, like the all-in-one marketing tool that I use, the links in the last slide, all of them you can create, but you've got to be mindful once again. If you are posting across multiple platforms with one piece of content, is that piece of content, I'm talking image and video, is it going to render properly? So across Instagram and Facebook, if you stick to Instagram sizes, you're fine. So across those two platforms, research shows that you're better off if you're a service provider or any business on Instagram than you are on Facebook, unless you've got a Facebook group. So I am getting to all those things, I promise.
Yeah, I know it's hard, but I love all of the things. What I'll do now is, if you guys just want to listen to Venessa for a minute here, I'm going to drop some of those scheduling platforms into the chat so you have them, but I'll just drop my camera off so that I can grab some of those links for you.
So this is just a quick snapshot. These are, I mean, Twitter in New Zealand is not so huge. If you're a copywriter, a blogger, anything around creating content, Twitter is really good. But in order to be successful on Twitter, you need to post multiple times a day. Facebook and Instagram, you can cross post using Instagram media sizes. LinkedIn, the profile photo, this is just a quick snapshot. So this is something you can perhaps keep in a Google Doc or something so that you know the exact sizes. But if you save it in your in Canva as Pinterest or LinkedIn, then you can actually search for it and find it, and then you can make changes to existing content. So you're not adding your logo every time, you're not adding your website every time, you're not adding your call to action every time. You just go in and changing the message, maybe changing the image. So and that's really easy to do, but you could just make a copy, so you'll never lose the original content. Now, Google My Business is very important. It's kind of like social media for Google, and 94% of all searches done worldwide, or in New Zealand, I should say, are done using Google search. So there are other players out there, but mainly more in America. There's Bing and there's a few others, but the only one you really need to worry about is Google, and also Google Maps. Now, even if you don't have a physical location, still put at least the town, city, or where you are located. People like to know that you're a legitimate business, because there's a lot of businesses in New Zealand that have New Zealand addresses, but actually they're not based here in New Zealand. So people, and if you just put a street address, Google's just going to pull a Google Street view. So it'll be sort of where your house is, or sort of where your apartment is, or whatever. But this is one that you really must have. So I've put the steps here. I'm not going to go through each one. You can refer back to this presentation. But if you can just Google this, or you can go, if you've got a Gmail account where you go to access your Google Docs, your calendar, your Google Drive, all of that, you will find a Google Business Profile, and I think it's your top right. It's your top right icon. Or you can just Google it. Now, if you don't have Google My Business, you can Google your business, and sometimes Google has already created a little mock-up, and you can then just go and claim that business. But it's important to add your business name, your location, your contact information, and you will need to verify your business. Now, there's various ways to do that, and when you're going through the process, so Google can either send you a postcard. I think you can get text verification, and I think you can also get a notification sent to your phone. I did it ages ago, so I got sent a postcard, and then all you do is you go in and you put that code in, and then Google trusts that listing a lot more. There's a lot you can add to Google My Business. Like, you've got to make sure that you've got relevance. Distance is more for if you've got a physical location, and prominence. So how well your business is based on things like links, your reviews, and your SEO. So in Google My Business, you've got Google reviews, and that's where people go to see what other your customers say about you. It also allows you to create a short link to share with your customers. So say, for instance, you've delivered a job, or you've delivered a product, or if you're product based, you can have little cards printed with a link that you can pop in the box, or via email, or even email marketing. You can share that link, because they click that link, it takes them directly to where they can leave a review for you. If someone leaves a bad review, it's very difficult to get it removed. The only way to get it removed is to actually disable Google reviews. But it also gives you an opportunity to then go and explain. Some people just do it out of spite. I don't know why that is. But yeah, if you don't have Google My Business, get onto that today. It's not going to take you more than 10 minutes.
We did have a question about Google My Business, just from somebody earlier in the chat saying, does anyone else having an issue with Google My Business, like images uploading? And so, to be perfectly honest, I don't know. I haven't heard of any issues happening there. Have you heard of any issues, Vanessa?
Look, like with every platform, sometimes there's glitches. I mean, Facebook's meant to work a certain way, and sometimes it's not working the way it usually works. So it just could be a matter of updating your Chrome browser, and it could be a
Or
software,
any browser you're on, right? Like just doing actually shutting down your computer and doing a restart.
and restarting it, yeah, and check if there's an update for Google Chrome, because sometimes that will cause it. But you could also have the wrong resolution. You could have the wrong size. And then certain platforms will, for instance, if I use the Meta Suite, I cannot put a video longer than 1 minute. It just will not allow me. If I've got too many characters on Instagram, it'll tell me you can't have more than X amount of characters. So all of this is just for your information. I'm not going to go through it all now, because I actually have lots to cover, but that's all right.
I just want to answer one more question about Google My Business before we move from there. Well, you're still in there, obviously. And so the question is Google My Business essential if you only offer online services, or would you just not include your location? And I actually did a session with Google on Google My Business. So if you don't mind, Vanessa, I wouldn't mind answering that. Yes, have a Google My Business page regardless. You don't have to have a location. If if you only want to ship, let's say, to certain regions, maybe you change where you can be seen and where you're located to those regions, so that you're not like attracting businesses in other areas. But it still gives authority to your business by being on there, because you have to be verified, which makes people feel more comfortable doing business with you. Would you agree on that?
Not only that, it's amazing for your Google search rankings and your SEO. So once again, this gives, it's almost like it's not a backlink, but it's if someone's searching for, if you only do online service, which is what I do, right? It's very helpful to be on Google My Business. It's not called Google My Business anymore. It's called Google Business Profile. But Google Business Profile will also give you analytics. So it'll send you messages and say, you had 53 views on this post, creating new content. So I would definitely post on Google Business Profile at least 3 times a week. So you're creating content for Instagram and Facebook, use that same content, just have a different image size or a different video size. That's the only thing. You cannot use a square image on Google Business Profile. It has to be 1200 by 900. But these are the various things you could do. So you can have the overview of your business. You can have videos there, and it's unlimited. You can put as many as you like. You can create offers. If there's a COVID update, obviously you can put that there. If you're launching something new, there's a What's New tab. You also then say what you are. You're a business coach, you're a business mentor, you're a different kind of service provider, you're a photographer, or whatever it is. It gives you that option to add that to it. So your listing should kind of look like this, where it says Bobby's Barbecue and Catering. People in the snapshot can see the Google reviews. So, oh, great. These guys have got a 4.6 out of 5-star rating. Their food must be good. And it's also got a place for products. Now, I'm a service provider, so under products, I add my services. So an image, a description of your service. And attributes, this goes to a little bit like alt data. But attributes helps with your Google search. If people are searching for female-owned businesses, or a black-owned business, Maori-owned businesses, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Or New Zealand-owned businesses. This is the area where you'll go and put those keywords. So this brings me to Meta. How many people use Meta to schedule your social media? Because you can batch schedule. I can schedule for the whole month using Meta, and it's completely free. Now there is research that shows that if you use a third-party app, that Facebook won't give you as big a reach compared to if you use the Meta suite. They want you to use their tools. This is where you create and repurpose your copy. So this is the process I use. I use Google Drive. I create a new Word document. I call that social media. And each day I create my social media caption in there. I put my hashtags in there, my CTA, my links, and I copy from that Google Doc. And then each day I add to that document. And what that allows you to do, say for instance, you've been doing content for 3 months on there, you've got loads of posts, you can go back to your oldest ones and start repurposing those. Because, we can't come up with 52 different, 52 times 7 different bits of content. And I copy and paste from that document into a caption. If you want to use emojis and be able to copy and paste those, I just open a blank Gmail email, because a Word document on Google Drive won't give you the option to add emojis. You have to copy and paste them in. Yep, I already mentioned that Instagram size is perfect for Facebook. If you need to resize, refer back to the tables that I have, or use Canva.
Oh, really? I just checked with Canva, and it says the feature is only available to Canva Pro, Canva for Teams, Canva for Education, and Canva for nonprofit users. So if you do need
for resizing, really?
Yeah, for resizing. So I'll just see if I can't find you a free tool. Anna, I did post that only to her, but I'll see if I can find one.
There are free tools. I've been using Canva for over 3 years. And right in the beginning, I didn't have Pro and I could resize. So maybe they've changed things. I'm not sure, but I've had Pro for a long time now.
Yeah, they're constantly evolving that site. Just a question here from Tanya. Is it important to schedule posts? And if so, how much or how many posts a week would you recommend to build an online presence? That's a bit of a big question.
If you're not posting 3 times a week, people are not going to see your stuff, right? You need to be posting at least 3 times a week, and you need to go and look at your insights and see when your audience is on there. So on the Meta Suite, I'm going to skip. You can go through this process on your own. There's not enough time. So what I'm going to I'm going to play this video for you. Can you hear?
If it started, then no.
Okay.
So my basic rule is, Vanessa, videos on here is not the best idea. What you'd have to do is actually stop your share, go out, make sure that you've selected.
No, that's okay. I'll share the video link for everybody. It is actually very useful.
Okay.
But it basically takes you through scheduling on the Meta Suite. So the Meta Suite, you'll be able to post to, it'll give you the option to post to your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and even linked groups. And if you're trying to build a personal profile, which a lot of people are, if you're a coach or a mentor, or even copywriters and that kind of thing are building personal profiles, you create your banner image on Facebook, similar to my one over there. And once you've uploaded the banner image or the cover image and saved it, if you click on that cover image, you'll see an edit button. And that edit button, if you click on it, it'll then allow you to put your different groups in there or your different pages there. Don't use external links. Only use links that don't take people off the Facebook platform, because Google will limit your reach. Not Google, Facebook, because Facebook doesn't want people to leave the platform. They want people to stay on the platform. And that's the same if you're posting on your personal profile about your business. Don't use external links in the caption anywhere. It's fine to use in your bio, your personal bio, no problems there. So when I post on Facebook, on my personal page, I always, the call to action is linked in the comments. So you can even put that in your, in your video or your image, that the link is in the comments, or link in your bio. So make sure it's available. I always say link in comments or bio. It's easier in the comments because it's quicker for people to get to. But for those of you who are interested in posting and using MetaSuite, that video I can make available to you. So just DM me or email me or let Anamari know, and I will share that video. It is pre-recorded, and it goes through step by step exactly what to do. So yeah, I'll be open to questions now. I've got a Linktree account, which is on my bio, which basically connects you to a bunch of free resources. And I've put the links here to the Chrome extensions. I'm also made available a content and graphics guide, some social media templates, a link to an all-in-one marketing tool, a mini workshop I've got, and I also offer things like online marketing audits. So for that, I go and I look at everything, right? And I write a big report, and I give you things that you can action to improve your online presence, your Google. It depends what what you're trying to, what your aim is or your goal. I work with that, and I show you what you can do to improve your business online, and get you the quickest wins. So I always work from the quickest wins to you need to do it, but it's not that important, right? So I always work with the things that will give you the quickest wins. I can stop sharing now and show you a few of the Google tools at this time, but
yeah, let's have a go at it. And if it doesn't work, that's okay.
okay, so I'm just
yeah,
going
because
to
we've only
stop
got a
my
few minutes
share.
left. Photo edit for resizing.
Come on.
Yeah, so like this is the thing, sometimes it just doesn't pan out. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for everybody who's dropping questions into the chat and has questions in the chat. I'm doing my best to get you all the resources that I can. This session will be available on Digital Boost. It will be uploaded onto the site later today. You'll also receive the recording in the thank you for attending email if you're watching with us on Zoom. And underneath the session, we'll have Venessa's slides uploaded as soon as we have them. They'll go up with the session. And if you're tuning in on Facebook or one of our other social media channels, I can see you guys there. You won't have access to the slides unless you register to Digital Boost. So I recommend that you do that because there's a huge comp going on right now. You can watch 2 videos if you're an existing user. You don't need to re-register. Just watch 2 videos. It's $25,000 worth of a digital boost, like a digital suite. It's got so many things. It's super cool. If you haven't registered for Digital Boost, you'll need to do that first, and then you can watch 2 sessions before October 9th. That's the end of the comp. So make sure you get that. Vanessa, it looks like I can see what you're doing right now. So that's cool. So
yeah,
which tool was this? Can you tell us which tool this was?
So this is WordTune.
Okay.
So you can see that I've got, so that's where that's where all my extensions are.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to pin something, I either pins or unpin something. So these ones here that I've got at the top here, they've all been pinned. This is the bold, so you can type whatever you want in here. I can't type today. Boost, and you'll see it'll give you various different options. It's okay, it's the only extension that can do it, but this one here is my favorite. This one will give you text that doesn't look weird, but it will bold your text. So if I type boost in here, it'll put boost. You can either copy and paste, or you can hit this copy button over here, and you can put as much content as you like in there. So WordTune, if I highlight something and I click on that little purple, it'll actually give you options of how to say it differently, a whole bunch of options. And if I click that option, it'll change it straight away. So, and then I can go, no, I'm not quite happy with that. I'd rather have a different one, and you can also highlight all of this, and it'll go through sentence by sentence, and rephrase it.
Wow, that's cool. I like
Yeah,
that. That's a
and
cool
that's it.
tool.
And it'll follow you around every week. So
Yeah.
if you
Let
if
me
you
drop the name of that in the chat. What was it again?
word tune, so it's on the third
Yeah,
slide.
I've got it. Yeah, that's okay. We'll just drop it, just in case somebody
So that's
wants.
that one there, right? This is my Loom. So if you put the extension there, you'll see it gives you the options of either your full desktop, screen and camera, or screen only. Screen and camera is great if you're doing a little tutorial or you want to record a webinar. And you'll see that if you don't choose, if you choose screen only, it won't put your face down the bottom. It'll just put your screen only, it'll put your logo. So it's important that you got your logo on Google, and that's where it's pulling it from. That logo is being pulled from Google.
I love using Loom. I've recently switched to Vimeo just because I've got a lot of things on there, but I used to use Loom heaps for educating people on how to do what I do. Like if I was sick or something like that, and somebody needs to come in, hey, this is how you get to where all the stuff is. It's much faster than typing it out, which is what we used to do. So yeah, I highly recommend those as extensions. They're really cool.
So you can see here in my text, you see how that is bold. So that's actually using this bold text generator. I haven't bolded. If I make it bold through this actual, if I go here and make it bold, it's not going to be bold on your social media. But if you make it bold here, it will be.
Oh, okay. What was that called? That's just called bold text generator.
It's called capitalizemytitle.com. I can put it in. You want me to put it in the chat?
Oh, it's okay. I'll drop it in.
Yeah, so it's very useful.
I'll just drop in the actual thing. You guys can look it up yourself.
Because I mean, social media, like there are billions of people on social media, and so sometimes you need bold font to stand out. Even on your website, say for instance, your blog doesn't offer a bold option or something like that. It doesn't matter what online platform you use. In your email, even your email subject line, if you want to bold that to stand out, it'll come up as bold when they receive your email. So it's a very useful tool. But the others, like I said, just play around with them. If you don't, I've got all kinds in here. I've got Bitly.
You do, don't you?
Yeah.
You got lots of extensions. I've got like 4.
And this is the momentum app. So if I open a new tab, right? So instead of just being boring, this is what it looks like. It's telling me, "Good morning, Vanessa, and my objective today is email marketing," and down the bottom it says, "Be the type of person you want to meet." So it's just, when you open up a new tab, maybe you're not having a good day or something like that, or you want to refocus or something, it's going to give you a beautiful image, a different image each day. It's going to tell you that, what the weather is like in your area, and it's going to remind you of your goals for that day. So with my business, we look at not only what you need to do in your business, but also mindset. So mindset is critical in terms of being successful in business, sustainably anyway. But yeah, so those are most of the tools. I mean, I'm happy. We offer a 15-minute consultation. If you want to book that, the best way I can help you is to know your story. If I don't know about your business, it's hard to help you. I can give you generic tools like I did today. Those are all industry standard things, but and remember, you don't need everything for your business. You only need to know what's going to move the needle, what's going to get you sales, what's going to get you conversions. You only need to know technology that's relevant to your business. And if LinkedIn's not it or Pinterest is not it, then that's fine. Just nail the ones that you're working on. Facebook is hard on a business page. It is very hard.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people are now using their personal profile as well. It's easier to grow your following on Instagram than it is on Facebook.
And I would say also LinkedIn. Like if you're using LinkedIn for your business, make sure you're posting on your personal page and your business page, because the algorithm doesn't like business pages as much, which seems a bit silly actually, but
Well,
it doesn't. So, you know, like you're going to get way more traction by putting it out on your personal page, but have your business page there to, you know, constantly kind of tag so that it's getting lots of attraction. And maybe you add like a newsletter or blog that you can do on there, and that kind of draws people into that page. But yeah, there was so many, honestly, we're out of time. But there's so much great stuff in this, Venessa. I knew it was going to be a killer session. What a great session. Thank you so much for your time. And I can see it's 4 degrees down there in Queenstown where you currently are. Woo, you know, so stay warm for sure.
Well, luckily I've got a fireplace here, so yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was going to say one thing about the reason why business pages are not very successful is because the platforms want you to pay for advertising, right? So that if you want reach, they expect you to pay. So yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think it's, you know, a pay to play kind of game on most platforms, except for TikTok, really still, and LinkedIn. You can still get a lot of traction, but on a lot of those other platforms, you really do have to be, you know, figuring out ways. And you said this to me last time, Venessa, I believe it was you who was on here. You had said, figure out ways that you can collaborate with other people as well. And, you know, and draw them in, because then you've got their, you know, their voice and your voice. And so when both of your platforms are coming together, your reach is further. And that's a great way to not only work with somebody, which often feels nice as a small business because we do so much alone, but also to just increase your reach by utilizing other people that are in similar industries but won't encroach on your market.
And guest blogging is beautiful. You know, if you see someone and you love what they write, have a look on Medium and these kinds of platforms, because people are, that's their job. They're professional writers, and ask them if they'd be happy to guest blog on your website, because it's going to help you and it's going to help them, but it's not going to impact your business negatively because they don't offer what you offer. So yeah, look, I'm happy to do, because there's a lot I didn't get to, and Murray with the questions. But I can make that, I can make it all available. Like I said, obviously, you know, register with Digital Boost because you've got access to a bunch of other tools there as well, not just my content. But if there's any specific area of my presentation you want me to go through again, or actually show just you for just your business, I'm happy to do a 15-minute consultation with you. And sometimes it goes a little longer, but that's okay. So
awesome. I'm going to stop the recording now so that you guys don't have to doesn't take forever to render. But I just want to say thanks again to you, Venessa, and we have more sessions booked with you until the rest of this year. So I'm looking forward to that, and we can even have a look at what maybe we continue on from this session on the next Tuesday kind of session. Yeah, because we're going to do on a Thursday workshop, we're going to do a Canva Pro thing, because we did a Canva Pro kind of intro, and then I think we were going to go a little bit deeper into that because there was a request for that. So yeah, so stay tuned. Lots of great sessions. If you want to tune in on Thursday and learn how to do video, you're going to write a script. You're actually going to do a script with John Mayberry. He's an expert in helping people.
John's great. I've been working with him up for video as well. And I've actually just added John's services to my website. So yeah, don't miss that session. It'll be a good one.
Yeah, tune in. I'm really looking forward to it. I love video, but a lot of us don't like it. And so come to this session either way, because it's going to help you, from beginners to people who would like a little refinement. This guy's an expert. Thursday from 10 to 12, you'll need to register. You can't watch it on social media. You'll need to come to the session through Digital Boost. So register that way. Okay. See you guys then. Thanks, Venessa.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Take care. Stay warm. See you guys. Ka kite. Have a great day.